Players are continually assessed and ranked on who is the best footballer in the world today. These ratings can change radically, even within a single game. With so much data and statistics publicly available, the fan on the street can conjure up their own opinions on players. Managers and head coaches will argue no amount of data can substitute for what they see with their own eyes. At the same time, managers and supporters have their favorite players, those they trust to deliver. Others are less popular. Then there is a third category, players who don't get the praise they deserve, whose skill has never been fully appreciated. So to explore that theme, here are the 10 most underrated players in football history. 10. Jordan Henderson. Few players have had as much passive aggressiveness thrown their way as Jordan Henderson. While nobody is suggesting he has been a better player than Steven Gerrard, Henderson did what Gerrard could not, lead Liverpool to the Premier League title. Under Henderson's captaincy, Liverpool won their first English title in 30 years. Added to the Champions League and FIFA Club World Cup, he lifted every club honor there was to win and popped up with vital goals for England in the knockout stages of Euro 2020 and the 2022 World Cup. What often gets lost in the noise around Henderson is how much his game evolved. Early on, he was seen by some as a squad filler, but under Jurgen Klopp, he became a midfielder who covered ground few in Europe could match, and his influence in the dressing room proved just as valuable as his output on the pitch. Henderson always had leadership qualities, but he could play too. 9. Rudi Völler. German striker Rudi Völler was a more than dependable player for club and country. For Germany, he came off the bench to equalize in the 1986 World Cup final, after scoring in the semi-final against France. Sadly, the Germans lost that final to a late goal from Argentina. 4 years later, he helped Germany go one step further and become world champions at Italia 90. It was Jurgen Klinsmann who tended to get the limelight up front for that German side, with blonde locks and acrobatic finishes. Yet Völler's international record is excellent. 47 goals and 90 caps, more than one every other game, at a time when Germany were always expected to reach major finals, and more often than not did, with Völler a crucial reason why. Völler's club career also deserves more credit than it typically receives. He enjoyed a productive spell in Serie A with Roma at a time when Italian defenses were considered the toughest on the planet, and he did it while helping Germany reach 3 World Cup finals across his career. One of the most reliable big-game strikers of his generation, even if his name rarely tops greatest ever lists. 8. Michael Carrick. Nice. Michael Carrick was a confident ball player who dictated play, yet also one of British football's most underrated players. He handled the pressure of a big club at Manchester United, winning 5 Premier League titles and the Champions League, though it never translated into as many England caps as it probably should have. While the wider football world may not have rated him as highly as it should, his teammates understood exactly how good he was. Carrick was named United's Players' Player of the Year in 2013, the last year the club won the league under Sir Alex Ferguson. Part of the reason Carrick's reputation never matched his output is stylistic. He wasn't a midfielder who produced eye-catching stepovers or thunderous strikes. His brilliance lived in positioning and a 40-yard pass that looked routine because he made it look simple. Coaches rated him far more highly than pundits did, and his respected coaching career at United since retiring is further proof of that intelligence. 7. Gheorghe Hagi. Gheorghe Hagi was the jewel in the fabulously entertaining Romania side of the 1990s. He had a wand of a left foot and would arguably make an all-time 11 of left-footed players. One wonders if his star would have shone brighter had he been born French or Italian. This was a midfielder who could, and did, change games with a single moment of brilliance. Not many players attempt 45-yard lobs at a World Cup, but that is how Hagi scored for Romania in 1994. He was a talisman on the international stage, highly rated but perhaps not appreciated as much as his enormous talent deserved. Hagi's club career took him to Real Madrid and Barcelona. He was named to the 1994 World Cup's team of the tournament, proof of how highly regarded he was by those assessing the football closely, even if wider recognition never quite matched it. 6. Sergio Busquets. Sergio Busquets may well be considered one of Barcelona's best ever players, as well as one of Spain's greatest, but he is still underrated. When pundits talk about those great Spanish and Barcelona teams, they always name-check Xavi and Andres Iniesta, but don't always include Busquets. Yet he was just as crucial to their success. Perhaps his most underrated quality is how effortless he made his position look. Those inside the game have long understood what casual observers often miss. a deep-lying midfielder who rarely dribbles past 3 players or scores from 30 yards can still be the single most important player on the pitch. Busquets' ability to read danger a split second early and to be exactly where the ball needed him was footballing EQ, a quality that doesn't photograph as well as a mazy run. 5. Franck Ribéry. Franck Ribéry remains adamant he should have won the 2013 Ballon d'Or, the year he inspired Bayern Munich to Champions League glory. That honor instead went to Cristiano Ronaldo. While some saw him as a luxury player early on, he delivered consistently for Bayern for well over a decade. Arguably his best season came in 2013, when he was a major reason Bayern won the treble, League, National Cup, and Champions League, with Messi and Ronaldo at the peak of their powers. Ribéry, while seen as a good player, is rarely rated as highly as his talent and achievements deserve. Beyond the trophies, Ribéry's close control and low center of gravity made him a nightmare for fullbacks across Europe for the best part of 15 years. Longevity that rarely gets credit in conversations about the era's greatest wingers. 4. Robert Prosinecki. Robert Prosinecki was part of the Yugoslavia team that won the 1987 Under-20 World Cup, and a key cog in the wonderful Red Star Belgrade side that won the European Cup in 1991. Mesmeric on the ball and gifted at set pieces, he attracted attention from the world's biggest clubs. He played for both Real Madrid and Barcelona, but neither club quite saw his true brilliance in La Liga. He often saved his best form for the international stage. After Croatia declared independence, he was key to the side that finished 3rd at the 1998 World Cup. Later, a brief stint at Portsmouth left fans there ranking him among their all-time favorites. What makes his underrated status so striking is that he was considered one of the most gifted players of his generation by those who coached him. Injuries and inconsistency in Spain robbed him of the sustained club form his ability suggested, but his performances for Croatia in 1998, starring in one of the great World Cup underdog stories, deserve far more attention than they get. 3. Dani Carvajal. Dani Carvajal is often described as a stalwart or dependable player, begrudging descriptions for a Spaniard who now has 6 Champions League winners' medals. Though considered one of the competition's greatest ever right backs, it can feel as though that's purely down to his medal tally rather than genuine appreciation of his ability. Real Madrid have had superstar names in their ranks for years, so those who quietly do a job well aren't always noticed. Yet with so much attacking flair elsewhere in the side, it's vital they have someone who defends properly, and Carvajal has proved himself a dogged competitor who handles the pressure of a huge club season after season. His durability is remarkable in itself, surviving multiple generations of Real Madrid teams while remaining a first-choice starter throughout. Right back is not a position that draws individual awards, but few defenders can claim to have been as central to as many major trophies as Carvajal, and even fewer have done it with as little fanfare. 2. Thomas Müller. Not only is Thomas Müller among the top 20 all-time Champions League goal scorers, he also has the same number of assists in Europe's leading club competition as Xavi. Taking those goals and assists into consideration, Müller does not get the appreciation he deserves. To make this totally clear, the German has more Champions League assists than Andres Iniesta, Cesc Fabregas, and Luis Suarez, while boasting more goals than Thierry Henry, Didier Drogba, and Neymar. He was also, of course, part of the German team that won the 2014 World Cup, where he finished among the tournament's top scorers. Müller's issue, if it can be called that, is he doesn't fit a conventional position. That lack of a clean label has likely cost him acclaim that flashier forwards receive, even as his end product has matched or exceeded theirs for well over a decade. 1. Michael Laudrup. While Michael Laudrup is widely regarded as the best Danish player ever, he doesn't always get the full recognition his talent deserved. He was magnificent at times for Denmark and delivered just as consistently for club, a huge part of the Barcelona side that under Johan Cruyff won the European Cup in 1992. After falling out with the Dutch legend, he made a hugely controversial move to fierce rivals Real Madrid. There in the Spanish capital, he turned on the style and led Madrid to their first La Liga title in 5 years. Some in the game did recognize his brilliance, and those who knew the sport best put Laudrup's stock very highly indeed, succeeding at the very top of both Barcelona and Real Madrid in an era of intense rivalry speaks to a class few players before or since have matched, yet his name is often missing from conversations about the greatest of his generation. That's the list. 10 players who in their absolute prime were doing things most stars only dream of, yet never got the recognition to match. Underrated doesn't mean bad. It often means misunderstood, overshadowed, or simply playing a style of football that doesn't translate well onto a highlight reel. Who do you think deserved a spot on this list? Drop your picks in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more football content like this.